Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gig and Tell podcast. I'm Tash.
I'm Phil.
And this week we thought we'd talk about boy bands because, what else is there to talk about really?
I'm just a girl.
I'm literally just a girl. I'm just a girl that's 25 years old that grew up in 2010s with boy bands just popping up everywhere.
We were prime age.
For
the early 2010s boy bands.
Yeah, because I know that like kind of in the 2000s you had people that were growing up with like Blue and
Westlife,
Take That,
the older ones,
and that was like boy bands of that era, but we would have been like 2 years old, so
even like a little bit later on, like with like Take That was still going when we were a little bit older, but we were sheltered into a specific music taste that was not pop.
Yes, that's true. Our parents didn't listen to anything like that.
Like I remember being introduced to Bruno Mars, the Lazy Song, and I went home and I put it on my computer on YouTube because it was all about the music video, wasn't it, with that?
Yeah.
And I remember Dad walking in and going, "I'm not having that shit on in my house, turn it off now." So we were not allowed pop music. We were raised on the rock.
Yeah. Saying that, I was never really fought. I was taken the piss out of thoroughly about Justin Bieber, but I was never like fought about it. Saying that, in the car and stuff, yes, I wasn't allowed it, but generally speaking, if I was in my room or whatever, they wouldn't be like, "You're not allowed to listen to that." Yeah. Just not in front of Dad.
Yeah, Dad just accepted you were a lost cause at that point. I think he was just like two out of three ain't bad. Yeah. And then he started to lose me too. But no, Dad just always liked the ones that had like a band and instruments, I think, because he was much more there for McFly.
Yeah.
Than he was Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Which is understandable.
Because they have that edginess to them, I think, McFly do. And like you say, a proper band.
Yeah, he's there for the live music, so he's much more for that.
I think that it's probably also because he plays instruments and things himself that he feels that kind of connection to people that also have a band that play like that.
Music made with instruments sounds different
to
music made without instruments, even though you're using stuff to make it sound like it sounds like a guitar. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell what was made with a guitar.
Yeah. And also, I feel like you can really feel chemistry in when a band is a band and playing. Because some pop music, it has the guitar and the drums recorded and stuff, but it's not that band and they're not having that connection and that writing. And I feel like you can hear that.
Yeah, definitely. You can 100% tell when someone is a solo artist or a band. Mm-hmm. There's a massive difference in the music in the background of it. It can be composed beautifully, but yeah, it's different. You can tell, like you say, the chemistry of it.
Yeah. Definitely 100% you can hear the difference. Mm-hmm. But I think that our boy band obsession started with One Direction, would you say?
I would say so. I'm thinking of our timeline. Because I think what allowed us to find and get into One Direction was obviously X Factor. Mm-hmm.
Which is so funny going back and watching their auditions now. Have you done that? Have you done a dive?
I have, yeah.
Hilarious.
So they were on X Factor 2010.
I reckon it was probably around the same time as McFly, to be honest. I think it was like a year or two before, maybe.
But they would have been first.
Yeah.
Well, then you have the conflict of we didn't know a McFly song prior to that.
Yes, true. But we weren't obsessed with McFly.
But no, we didn't properly get into them. But
One Direction was another level. Like, it was going to the cinemas to see their movies in 3D, and it was going to buy their merch, and we were making up songs about them. We made up dances. We used to jump around and play. There was games we'd make up, One Direction games.
I remember the trivia game we made up, jumping between the beds. That was so funny. Because we had another friend that lived nearby that was very into One Direction as well, and we made this game. I remember exactly what the game was.
I remember doing it, but I don't remember how you played.
I think you normally asked the questions because it involved a forward roll, which you couldn't do.
I've never been able to do a forward roll.
So you would ask the questions, and we'd be stuck, because obviously we were twins, shared a room, our beds were next to each other. So Becky would stand on the one bed the other side, and I would stand on my bed the other side. and like facing each other, and you'd ask a question and we'd have to do a forward roll, a stand up, and then we could answer the question.
Yeah.
And it was like a trivia quiz. And it would be like, when's Louis Tomlinson's birthday? And I used to know all this. I can't remember it now. I couldn't tell you any of their
I
birthdays.
was the same.
Where they were from, what's their sister's name. We
Yeah.
knew it all.
Yeah.
We knew, if it was in We Hot Pop magazine, I knew it.
Yeah, I think that the posters, in terms of boy bands, etc., the posters started with One Direction.
Yeah, 100%. I actually, the first poster I ever put up was actually a Twilight one.
Mm-hmm.
We had you had the Jacob and I had the Edward. They were the first posters that went up, but then it quickly got took over. I remember Mom telling me she got in a fight with my One Direction poster. Because she dropped us off at school, and when she was on her way back, the house alarm went off. And she obviously got that back, and she looked at it, and it was coming from our bedroom. And she said she just grabbed an umbrella, one of her big umbrellas, because it was all that she had. And she went upstairs with this umbrella ready to attack. I don't know why you wouldn't just call police, but she went up ready to attack. And my One Direction poster had come off the ceiling because I'd run out of space on the walls. It had gone onto the ceiling and it had fallen off and set the alarm off. And,
that's brilliant. I don't remember that story.
Yeah, we had to take all our ceilings off the poster. We had to take all our posters off the ceiling, I think, after that.
One of our best friends, actually, she had posters only on her ceiling. So I don't think that she had any on her walls, but her entire bedroom ceiling was Justin Bieber, Uni and J, The Vamps, One Direction. And I'm pretty sure the difference is she didn't blue tack, she pinned. And her ceiling looked sick.
Yeah.
It looked so cool. You'd lie in bed at a sleepover looking at all of the beautiful faces staring down from you from the boy bands. Honestly, it was incredible.
And she had the back of her door, didn't she? She didn't put them on the walls. It was the ceiling and the door. She had a whole Justin Bieber door.
Yeah, and then the rest of her room was dark purple for Justin Bieber. I loved it. We had our walls covered in photos of ourselves, as in photos we'd taken, and posters. One Direction definitely being a big one at the beginning for it.
Massively. I actually used to have, there was the one magazine that had a different page for each member. I'd cut each of the posters out of each one of them, and I used to put them on my wardrobe door, and I would change the order of them based on who was my favourite at the time. So they'd all get moved around, and I'd have them in different orders, and I would have a different favourite each week.
I love that. Who was your favourite, would you say, in general, One Direction member?
I think the one that was the most prominent that you guys all remember the most was Louis. But
because it's outrageous, how can you forget?
That was just me trying to be different. I think that was just me being I'm no basic bitch.
Yeah.
But I think
you strike me now as a Niall girl.
I was about to say the one that actually really had my heart was definitely Niall. Because he was the sweet one, the quiet one.
Sweet, cheeky. Yeah.
And the accent.
I know. God love him.
I think it was just at the time his teeth brought him down.
He was a bit cockier then as well, I think, back in day. My favourite, I would say, was definitely Harry. I was not trying to fight the...
You guys were Harry. It would have made more sense. It would have made more sense if I was into Harry because it's always been the brown curly hair. But I think it was just me not... I was still fighting the basic at that point.
And everyone loved Harry Styles.
Yeah, because everyone loved Harry Styles, I had to hate Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I had to like the niche one. I couldn't like the main one that everyone else... I don't know. If you get it, you get it. I couldn't be basic.
Yeah. I loved Harry. I am actually gutted we never went to see One Direction. That's one band we never saw. And I was hoping for a full reunion. We'd actually predicted a reunion for 2026, if I'm correct, or 2027.
So some point around...
We were that year, One Direction are going to do a reunion. And then, obviously, R.I.P. Liam. However, now a One Direction reunion will never be the same. We'll never properly see One Direction, which is just heartbreaking. But I don't know. I think they might still do a reunion.
You think?
I don't think it will be the same, but I think they will, and they'll like do like a honour for him.
Yeah. I definitely don't think they will make more music.
I know. I don't think they'll come out with another album. Sorry, I think they'll do a reunion tour.
Just just shows.
Yeah, I'm manifesting a reunion. I'm manifesting a reunion because I need to see One Direction. I feel like it's a crime for us to go our whole lives without seeing One Direction. But it will not be the same as seeing full One Direction. I'm trying to think who probably came after them was probably JLS, which is never one that we were really particularly on board with. I know all the famous popular ones that everyone knew.
It was the first few ones, wasn't it? It was Everybody in Love, Beat Again.
I do feel like they went a little bit more into the R&B side of pop than boy band pop though. And that's not my kind of genre to listen to.
Yeah, they were never quite us.
Yeah.
They never quite grabbed us, did they, the way the other bands did.
Yeah.
I know we had friends that really did.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
But they were just...
I'm pretty sure Becky had posters up on her wall of JLS.
Grace was obsessed.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
I didn't realise Rowan Jazz were as into JLS as
no, neither.
Until recently.
Another boy band that I liked that you didn't listen to actually was Emblem 3.
Yeah.
You never listened to Emblem 3. They were a lot more of an American, like, skater vibe, but I really liked Emblem 3.
I think they were also just another one that I just disliked because I wanted to. Like, I didn't like them because you and Rosie did.
Yeah,
you know
you pick and
like,
choose.
It was just like, I can't remember when they came in, but I think you guys were so prime in your Justin Bieber obsession that, you know, I'd become so anti-Bieber that then it was like anything they like I must hate.
Yeah.
Whereas with One Direction it was a bit different because we'd watched them on the X Factor and we'd enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And it was just a bit different because we'd kind of grown that, like, I don't want to say relationship with them, but you know,
we'd been on a journey.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, listen to this band. It was like you'd been through the process with them.
Yeah. Whereas, I don't know, when it was... There was like this weird time where it was you and Rosie and it was me and Jazz, and I just had to hate anything you and Rosie liked.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kid things, isn't it? You just
even still though, like when it wasn't so much like that, and me and Jazz liked 5 Seconds of Summer. You've never been on board with 5 Seconds of Summer. And really, if you think of all the boy bands that we did listen to, 5 Seconds of Summer, they play their own instruments, they've got an edgier vibe. They were in Kerrang magazine, which you would never have got the other boy bands we listened to in that kind. They're your kind of boy band. Like, if you were to put a boy band out there, you'd try and picture you with 5 Seconds of Summer because they had that edge to them, but you've always been like, I hate 5 Seconds of Summer. And I feel like now you've admitted, like, they're fine.
They're fine. It was...
I think that you had that angst against them as well because I like them.
Yeah, it was just that sibling thing of, like, you like it, so I don't. Like, it was just like, oh, you like that, I hate it.
And I'm so sad about that because you would have so much fun at Five Sauce with us.
They just, I don't know, like, they're okay, but they never grabbed me. Like, don't get me wrong, Amnesia made it to all of my depression playlists when I was, like, an angsty, depressed teenager. You know, it would go from, like, Mayday Parade to Amnesia. It fit right in there quite well. Like, Miserable at Best to Amnesia, they worked.
Yeah.
They worked together. But yeah, they were just never... I don't know, maybe they weren't hot enough for me.
Oh my God, are you joking me? Have you seen Luke Hemmings? Have you seen Luke Hemmings?
I think if I was gonna fancy one of them, it would be Ashton.
Ashton is a cutie pie. Ashton.
Michael was a weird one because I don't know, like, he doesn't have like the classic attractive look. But for me, he was the edgy weirdo.
He was the edgy weirdo, and he has a cute smile. I'll give him that.
And his solo stuff now,
10,
incredible.
10,
way better than
10.
anything Five Sauce did.
Disagree, but...
No, his solo album is so much better than the Five Sauce stuff, I'm sorry.
No, disagree, but I did love his album. But I loved it the way that I love Five Sauce. And some of them on there probably make it the same level as Five Sauce for me, but Five Sauce is about 100 times better than
I think
any of them on their own.
He's a different genre.
Yeah.
In his solo stuff, it's alt Z, which is one of my most listened to genres.
Fair. But I am really sad because I feel like if you'd have jumped on board with us back when, then you'd have kind of you'd have came through the whole wavelength with us because me and Jazz are going to see them still in. Well, there's a few of us going, but we kind of always had that obsession together. We're going to see them again in like February, March time, and I just feel like you'd have had the best time with us at Five Stars concerts. Honestly, they're so good. They have been one of my top artists for years and years and years on Spotify up until this year. That I would say they're one of my favourite bands of all time.
That's so wild to me because like I feel like that I Hate Five Stars was really just to you, but like when we'd be like going through the music channel, seeing what songs were on, I would stop on like She Looks So Perfect because it was still ultimately better in my brain than a lot of the stuff that was in the charts. Because we always had the music channels on.
Yeah.
We love a music video.
Did you know actually that MTV is no longer a music channel?
I found out yesterday.
I can't believe it. I was telling, because Harrison told me, because growing up he always had MTV on and like MTV Christmas and all that kind of thing on the TV. He'd have that on. Like the way we'd have Kerrang and stuff on.
Yeah.
And I was telling him about how when they stopped Kerrang TV, we actually had like a little funeral for Kerrang TV and watched them switch it off and everything, and we watched it go black, and it was a really sad moment. Yeah, 5 Seconds of Summer, up there. They are one of my top favourite boy bands of all time. I did get into them a little bit later than everything else that we're going to talk about. I think that I probably got into 5 Seconds of Summer around 2014, 2013, 2014, which was a year or two later than most of the things we're going to be talking about. But 5 Seconds of Summer, I could cry. I just adore them. I love them so much. I'm so glad that they're back. Their new album is weird as fuck, but I'm glad they're back. Well, who else then? Who else can we talk about?
So following One Direction would have been McFly.
Yes.
Because we obviously McFly were around a lot before that.
Yeah.
Like long before that, but we again, like I say, we were very sheltered. We were not allowed on the pop scene. Other than the one CD. I had a few CDs actually that were more poppy. A lot of them I never listened to.
We had the Now CDs.
I had a Now CD, which I had McFly on. But like I know that when I got my first CD player, Nan went to a charity shop and bought me loads of CDs.
That
I
is
never
adorable.
listened. That it was like Steps and Hearsay and bands that I never listened to any of it.
That's really sweet.
I love the gesture. It was so sweet. But I literally didn't like. There was maybe 2 that I ever listened to from that. Yeah. So we'd heard McFly initially on Now 68.
Yes.
Which was one of the very, very few pop CDs I had and listened to. When we then found McFly through Dougie being on the Jungle and we properly got into them, we realised that we did know that one song that I used to listen to on Now 68. Because there was very few songs on that CD I actually listened to. I used to skip between certain ones.
I think that there was 2 that we knew prior. Not that we knew. Was it The Heart Never Lies that was on the CD? But I'm pretty sure we'd heard That's the Truth as well.
Okay.
The Heart Never Lies was the one that we were like, oh my God, we know this song. But That's the Truth, I'm sure we'd also
It's
heard.
plausible because I don't know if you remember a bunch of people from primary school going to see them. But I remember getting to like a mufti day and there was like this one group of girls that we were friends with. They all came in their McFly hoodies. So it's plausible we knew more because we had sleepovers and stuff with them.
Yeah.
And we'd go to the houses, so we probably did hear more
through
them as well because they were like, obsessed with them. We were so late to the... Again, I had to hate anything other people liked. I remember them wearing those hoodies and me being like, who even is McFly? I
was never like
listening
that,
to them at home.
But you had some sort of angst about you from the day you were born.
I don't know if it was from... I don't know, just the fact that
it's probably Dad's attitude rubbing off on
that's
you.
Exactly what I was about to say because it was so like, no, we like this and only this. You cannot listen to anything else.
I remember for the longest time saying that I hated Bring Me the Horizon because every time they came on Kerrang TV, John and Dad would be like, skip. And the same with Linkin Park, skip. And I was like, oh, I hate them. All Time Low as well, actually, for a while. I was like, we don't like All Time Low because John and Dad don't like All Time Low.
Do you know how long through primary school I hated Hannah Montana? I'd never heard Hannah Montana. We didn't
This is
didn't
what I'm
watch
saying.
Disney Channel.
Because they turned it off every time they came on, it was like in my head, we just hated them. But I'd never actually heard them because they'd always change the channel.
I hadn't
And
had
then
the chance
as
to
I
form an
grew
opinion.
up and I listened to them because I didn't skip them on Kerrang, I was like, oh, fuck, I love these bands.
Yeah, we eventually managed to form our own opinions on them, but
Very important.
yeah, for the longest time, if multiple people liked it, I didn't. That was my rule. But yeah, we got very into McFly then. They've basically been in my Spotify top artists every
Ever
year until
since.
this year.
I remember my first few Obsession songs with McFly that we used to put the music videos on the TV to all the time were Please Please, That Girl, and then we've already mentioned That's the Truth and The Heart Never Lies. And actually, I actually don't think Five Colours or Stargirl were ones that we put on a lot.
No,
Funnily
they
enough.
weren't. Shine a Light we put on quite a bit.
Shine a Light,
I
yes.
remember the video to that very, very much.
Me too.
It might have just been that the music videos weren't as good. I couldn't tell you what the music video to Stargirl is.
No, I couldn't tell you. Do they even have one? That might be why it wasn't on the TV.
I'm sure it was on there. I just don't. I don't remember it.
But yeah, I think that our obsession with McFly ran deep. And then I remember my brother's ex-girlfriend actually buying me a Busted CD when she knew that we listened to McFly, because I was like, oh, like, I'm pretty sure I told her, like, I've never really listened to Busted. So she bought me their first album, or it might have been her CD that she then gave to me and was like, oh, I think you'd like them if you like McFly.
Which is an interestingly strange move, considering that, like, I was speaking to my hairdresser about this, so that when it was like the early McFly, when Busted was still around days,
It was Versus.
it was either or.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, when I was listening to them, you had to choose.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't say, oh, I like both. That wasn't an acceptable answer. You had to pick one of them.
Yeah.
So I find it so wild that she went, oh, you like McFly? Here's a Busted CD.
Maybe it's because she was Team Busted and she was like,
Yeah,
listen,
let's convert.
Let's convert, yeah.
Whereas obviously, like, I don't know, the rivalries aren't as, like, they're just not relevant now. Everyone knows that they're actually mates.
Yeah.
So, like, why do we have to choose?
And they both make very good music. I've always thought that Busted had that, like, edgier side to them, the rule breaky kind of, we don't give a shit kind of vibe, whereas McFly always felt like they were silly but followed the rules more. Does that make sense? Whereas I feel like Busted were opposite. They were like the bad boys, yeah. But I like both. We didn't listen to Busted that much growing up, but one band that we did get into through McFly is obviously the Vamps. We've spoken about that before. We've got a whole Vamps episode. Feel like let's maybe not talk too much about the Vamps, even though this is a boy band episode.
So
We've got a whole other episode on the Vamps. So, but they're like number one boy band obsession for us, even to this day.
They'll never not be. They'll never not be in my life.
I agree.
Even if they are no longer a band, like, if they split up, if they start touring, I will be heartbroken, but they will always be there for me.
I agree. Around the same time as well, we had Union J. That obsession ran very deep. I actually found some photos the other day. I'll send them to you if you want. You can choose not to put them in if you want to, but they did like competitions and stuff where we had all of their face masks and we'd like pose for their album covers for competitions.
They did a competition that was recreating their first album cover.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what you won, but yeah, I had all the masks anyway because I was a bit of a freak.
So yeah, we had all the masks.
Well, it's wild that I owned all of the Union J ones and only one
Not
Vamps
the
one.
Vamps, yeah.
Like, I only had the Brad one. But yeah, we used that and recreated the album. We did not win.
No, we didn't win. But if you're happy to put them on there, I'll send you the pictures and you can put them on the screen.
We used to love a good competition.
Competitions. That's back in the days when boy bands used to do follow sprees as well. Union J were like all over that shit on Twitter.
Yeah, I think I had maybe all except for Jamie for Union J, and all except for Brad.
I think I had Josh and George. Yeah. But I don't think I had JJ.
Josh followed me on a what were they called? Twitcam.
No way.
Yeah, because he was doing like a Q&A
Yes, I think
thing,
you
and I asked a question.
had a video of it.
Yes, because it was, I had the weirdest username, so when he read it out, I was like,
It was Fishy Chef,
It
wasn't it?
was, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Which was a whole family thing. Let's not go into that. That was a family reference, and yeah, I think the others were just from follow sprees, and then yeah, the Vamps was Connor's was my favourite one. Connor's was my favourite one because it was on
our
my
birthday. I was a Connor girly through and through, so it was our birthday, obviously, because we share a birthday, and we were at the zoo, and I remember you being like, Carnival's just followed
I
me.
ran to you. We weren't even in the same place.
No, because you were in the reptile house.
Yeah.
You just posted about it, and I was at the meerkats. I remember so clearly.
Yeah. Because it was like when he was like always posting about Rex. So I was like, I tweeted like, I'm in the reptile house in the zoo. How do I convince my mom to let me get a lizard? He followed me because I tagged him in it.
And I was heartbroken.
Yeah. He never actually replied. Never gave me any advice on how to convince mom to let me get one.
He'd so reply now. He's a replier through and through.
Yeah. But he should follow me.
Love that.
And
for
I
you.
ran out of that reptile house so fast to be like, Tash, guess what?
And I was like, I hate you.
It was so funny.
But we also had, so we had the masks of Uni and Jay. I also had a huge George Shelley cardboard cutout.
The cardboard cutout was like a family classic.
He was like all around the house in different corners of the room. He would scare us to death. He used to live in the corner of my bedroom staring at me while I went to sleep.
Everyone would just periodically move him. At one point he was in the middle of the bedroom in between our beds, and it used to creep me out because I was in like a cabin bed.
Yeah.
And so I'd turn around and he'd be there. Like eye level.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying.
I used to hate it when he was in the extension downstairs because he'd always lived in my bedroom and that's where I knew him to be. So then when he was just suddenly in the extension, it just felt so weird.
Yeah. It was.
And he would scare me every time. Every time I went in, I'd be like minding my own business, and then
it was like we'd get back from school
George.
and Mum would have just like moved him to somewhere else in the house completely, and you never knew where you were gonna find him.
Yeah.
I feel like she definitely made that a bit of a game. Like I felt like she was like, if I have to have this in my house.
Yeah, definitely. And the amount of times we'd be like, oh, George got me today, and like it was just funny. It was a funny
Especially
thing.
when he was in the bedroom though, because I found our bedroom creepy anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, considering it was an extension that hadn't existed before, it shouldn't have been that creepy, but
No,
it was a creepy
so
room.
Haunted. I know.
And yeah, like I hated going up to our bedroom on my own anyway. I was such a wuss. I was so scared of the dark. I was so scared of being upstairs on my own for some reason. So then you put this man in there.
This cardboard cutout of a
creepy.
man. Yeah.
But he became a Christmas classic as well. He'd come down at Christmas into the living room and get covered in tinsel.
Yeah.
Wrap him up in
Decorate
tinsel.
George. Yeah. But the
Who needs a Christmas tree?
Honestly, the obsessions ran deep. It wasn't just like you get the cardboard cutouts and we got all the books. We went to a million book signings. We met them. We got up at like 5 a.m. to go to the train station to go and meet them in Birmingham. We did all of that, but it ran so much deeper and like our lives became it. I remember getting a monkey onesie because George Shelley liked monkeys. It was like
No, they all had them.
yeah, they
all
yeah,
had the ones.
yeah, and it's like
even Brad Simpson had one.
Yeah, you live the way that they would live and everything. Like, we would quote them all the time.
We did get the Pikachu onesies.
The Pikachu ones is another one we did, yeah.
We got the Pikachu onesies.
Again, when I think it was just like a fangirl obsession. We were such fangirls with everything. Dan and Phil, we used to paint whiskers on our faces all the time.
You can literally see my Dan and Phil wristband on the side next to you.
There you go. Yeah, wristbands, we had J-Cat mugs, like, you name it, we had it.
The faded mugs that are still at our
We still
parents
use
right
them.
now. Like, Mum will come out with a cup of tea for me, and I'm like, wow, you can see the very, very faded vamps on there.
Yeah, in the previous episode, I was literally drinking out of your Brad Simpson mug. Like, you embody your obsessions when you're a fangirl.
It was the Christmas jumpers for me.
Christmas jumpers. You had Brad's Christmas jumpers. You had the pudding. You had Connor's.
So I bought the one thinking it was Connor's because it was dark blue with a snowman on it. It actually wasn't.
Oh.
It was very similar. But you know who did have that one?
Who?
Joe Sugg. The YouTube boy band. Yeah, so because they did multiple videos and they played free radio, which we went to. And they all had like chosen their Christmas jumper.
Mhm.
And when I found out they were from Primark, guess where I headed to?
Yeah, honestly.
Straight away, bought Brad's. But they were quite expensive for someone who's like 12 years old and doesn't have any money. Or like 13 at that point, I think. So I couldn't afford to. I was trying to get all of them, but they just, Christmas jumpers aren't there for that long. So I think by the time I'd got the money to get them, they'd all gone.
Fair.
But I got Brad's. It's a little bit snug, but I still get into it.
I love it. You've had that for like the last 10 years. That's hilarious.
13 years I've had that.
Yeah.
13 years I've had that jumper.
That's so funny.
It's probably closer to 12, but it was 2013 that we went to Free Radio and we saw them, and it was that year I got the jumper. So in like November this year, it would have been 13 years since
That's
I bought
crazy,
my jumper.
man. The one thing I feel like we never did was bed sheets. Correct? Oh no,
No.
did you have Vamps bed sheets?
No.
No. We did like blankets, mugs, like merch in general, wristbands, colouring books. We bought all the magazines, cut everything out and put it all on the wall, do collages.
I remember so vividly when we used to do Cubs, and we had a like sleepover, and our friend that went with us had one of the like airbeds that has the sleeping bag built in, and it was One Direction.
Ah,
And
yes.
I was like, you are the bougiest bitch in this place right now.
Yes.
I was so jealous. Of that.
The only thing that I think that we had like that was our High School Musical ones.
Yeah, we had High School Musical bed sheets. We had a High School Musical towel.
But the boy band obsessions ran deep. I'm trying to think of who else there was. I feel like Uni and Jay, the Vamps, and One Direction, and for me, Five Sauce, for you not. They were definitely the most prominent, which like shaped our lives. Like I've just said, everything that we did, we'd think of them, quote them all the time. Even now, if I go to do a workout, I quote Danny saying I'm a true worker outerer in that one random YouTube video that they did. Like, but if you knew, you knew. Like everyone that was watching,
chopping up carrots.
McFly's.
Chopping up carrots. I like
girls who eat carrots. Like if you watch the One Direction diaries on the stairs and stuff, you just knew. Like everyone was quoting it. We still quote the Adventurous Adventures of One Direction
all the time.
Like
I can't look at a spoon without.
You can't do it. And you just embody like everything to do with the obsession with this boy band. And I just think that it made friendships. It made memories, and it's made some fantastic jokes over the years as well.
Our own friend group, I mean, we've known them our entire lives, but we wouldn't be what we are now if it wasn't for the Vamps.
Yeah.
Like, we got so much closer when we booked Barcelona.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, just booking that, the whole group changed.
Yeah, when we went to see the Vamps in Barcelona.
Maybe it timed well with us being a little bit older, all having our own cars and places.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it just timed well with that we could just go and see each other whenever we wanted. But I don't know, there was something about that holiday that just brought us all together.
100%. Definitely.
Brought us all that little bit closer.
Definitely. And I think that I think that I always say I wish I'd have grown up in another era, because I feel like this era isn't the one. Like Mum and Dad talk about growing up and they'd go out all the time, they were never in, and they felt a lot safer, everyone left their doors unlocked and everything. But if we didn't grow up in this era, we wouldn't have our boy bands, and I think that is literally, that is me. I wouldn't be me without our boy bands.
Yeah. I have such mixed feelings about which generation I would prefer to have grown up in, because I wasn't a going out person, never have been. So the going out thing don't really bother me that much. I do wonder if people felt safer because the news wasn't so accessible. But the bands, man. As much, we were in the right era for boy bands. We're not in the right era for rock bands.
No. Yeah, that's
Put me
true.
in the 80s rock bands vibe.
Yeah. Because I don't listen to rock music as such. I listen to alternative music and like pop punk.
If I could go back in time and experience anything, I'd be torn. But one of the things I would love to experience, because I've heard so much about it, is a show at the Odeon in Birmingham.
Yes.
That's not a thing anymore. But apparently it used to have the slanted floor.
Yeah.
So if you're at the back, you're still
You can
higher
still
up
see.
than the people in front. So you
What a
can
great
see.
invention. Why is every venue not created like that?
When we experienced that at Manchester Apollo, my mind was blown. I was like, why do they not have this at every venue? Like, why do they just expect short people to not see anything when we're paying so much money to go?
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to Dad about it, and he was like, yeah, that's what the Odeon was like. And they used to pick out smaller people in the crowd and take them to the front.
That's incredible.
What?
That is actually incredible.
What? You wouldn't get away with that now. You'd have too many people going, I've been queuing since 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That is something I, like, would have killed to experience. Like, if you were, like, you could go back in time and experience anything, that would be a basic thing I'd like to experience.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it was anything at all, it would be Elvis, please.
Oh my gosh, what I'd do to see Elvis.
So if there was an Elvis show at the Odeon, that would be the dream.
So I think that he probably was too big to play the Odeon, but
yeah,
I could
no,
be
definitely was too big to play the Odeon. But I mean, I don't actually know what size the Odeon was.
Neither do I. I always pictured it as like a small
I picture it as
O2
more like the
kind of
O2.
venue.
Me too. But I don't know. I don't actually know, because it wasn't a cinema, it was a venue. But I've heard so much about that venue, I'd love to have experienced it. Or like Rock City.
Yeah.
Which I know Rock City's still there, but I know it's not the same. They've redone it.
No.
I do need to go to Rock. I've not been to Rock City.
One thing that we never really listened to was I did jump onto a New Hope Club through the Vamps. Again, never got obsessed with those. Feel like it's because we were a little bit older after discovering everything. But there was New Hope Club. Never got into the Tide.
They didn't last very long anyway.
No, they didn't, did they? And
they broke up very quickly.
We got into New Rules, like you.
New Rules is
mentioned.
like a very recent one. That's not 2010s boy band, but if you want the 2010s boy band vibe, now, New Rules are a great one.
I will say I've not listened to them since one of the members left, because they used to be a 3-piece and now they're a 2-piece. And I liked about New Rules was his voice, who has left.
It's very different without his voice, but their new stuff is still very good. It's just very different.
I might have to give them a go and listen to them as if they're a different band.
Yeah, 100%. Like their new stuff's like, you'd put it on your chill playlist kind of vibe.
Whereas the other, like before, it was like the bops, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like, I can have like that. Like, this is fun, it's dancey, it's poppy.
I might have to make a boy bands playlist when I get home tonight and have just like One Direction, Uni and J, New Hope Club, New Rules, the Vamps. Just put everyone in there and just listen to boy bands.
Yeah. I mean, boy bands are just an iconic part of the 2010s, I think. And I know that people will say they were an iconic part of the 90s and noughties as well, but not for us.
Yeah.
they weren't in our life until 2010.
And I think that we'll carry on that fangirl obsession all the way through our lives.
I think I don't form the same, like, the obsessions aren't the same now as they used to be.
No, because I feel like when you are a teenager, everything feels a lot more intense and
you have the time to go and learn all the members' birthdays.
Yeah, and you're a kid, so it's all a lot more fun. Like, it is just more fun. And you had a lot more information accessible to you in creative ways, whereas now anyone can Google anything. Whereas before it was like you had to get the magazines and
when you'd like buy a new album, you'd know
books.
Like, oh well, I'll buy a McFly album because I like McFly. So you would go out and you buy their stuff because you don't want to risk spending your money on something you might not like.
And then you have a different connection to that music because you treasure it because it's something that you've gone out and spent your money on and it's a physical thing that's there. I feel like it's a lot harder now that everything's...
When we got the personalised CDs.
Yeah, of course I do, yeah. The Memory Lane.
Yeah. McFly Memory Lane album, and you could get it so it looks like they've like written for you.
Yeah.
And it's got your name on it.
We had wristbands. We used to get lanyards all the time. We took pictures with cardboard cutouts that they had at the show.
That was such a bizarre setup that the Vamps had, where it was like cardboard cutouts of them and like an Instax Polaroid, and they had staff that would like take a photo with them. It didn't cost anything. They'd give you the Polaroid, but they would take them and they're cardboard cutouts, but they'd have the flash on.
Yeah.
So it was actually just me with white reflected silhouettes.
Yeah. And then they gave you the Polaroid in a lanyard with the Vamps like around there.
Remember they used to like glow pens?
Yeah.
That was such a big thing. Everyone had glow pens.
Yeah.
Till they didn't. And programs?
Programs were massive. I think we've spoken about that before, but programs were a huge part of it. It's back when people used to collect people's books as well. I personally don't know of many bands that have recently released biographies and stuff. Is it biographies or autobiographies?
They exist.
But McFly had a few. The Vamps had a couple. Did they just have the one, or they had a couple? Bieber had loads. I had a few.
Just the one.
So yeah, we used to have all of those kind of things.
I mean, I
Fond
still kind of
memories.
do. The Vamps did their fanzine not long ago. I've got that literally on my shelf over there. I have a Vamps colouring book that I've never coloured in.
This is what I mean. The obsession just goes and goes and goes. You can do so much with it.
Yeah.
I
mean,
love
the
it.
amount of stationery sets.
Stationery
the amount
sets,
of One
pencil
Direction stationery
cases.
sets that I had was unreal. And I'd
Lunch
have my One
boxes.
Direction pencil case with my One Direction pencils in.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Lunch boxes, coats, like just everything. Hats,
Everything.
scarves.
Everything.
I've still got my Vamps beanie.
I have a.
It's not even that old.
Vamps beanie. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not. I've only had it a couple of years. It's not that old. Socks even.
Socks. Yeah.
They did
I think posters were the main thing.
Posters were the biggest.
Our bedrooms were plastered, and like not even just posters that you go out and buy. Like there would be a small picture of the Vamps in a magazine that was this big, and we would cut it out, and I had like a collage on my wall of like loads of little ones, and we'd literally have like little cutouts that were this big in a magazine where we'd like stick them all to the wall on the collage.
I remember coming runner-up
In your colouring competition?
In the colouring in competition. It was Wee Heart Pop magazine. And it was like colouring this picture of the Vamps and sent it. I stand by the winner cheated, right? Because she made a whole board and then stuck this picture in the middle of it. I'm sorry, the task was to colour it in, not to make a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe I'm just a bit salty. I did like a pop art. I've still got the cutout of the magazine that had like the different entries and the runner-ups in there. But I still got sent a prize. It just wasn't the signed drumsticks. Which was so cool. They were the Can We Dance ones with like the red splatter on them. But I remember being so mad because they sent this like little package and there was like a couple of makeup bits, little bits and pieces, and then a Justin Bieber CD.
It would be called...
I was so angry. I was like, you can have that.
That's so funny.
Because I think it was like the one, I don't know if it was Believe or Believe Acoustic,
Oh.
but it was one of the Believe CDs, and I was like, there you go, that's for you. I won this for you.
Bless you. You
I was
came to
so
the Believe
mad.
tour though.
I did get into it eventually, but at the time I was mad. At the time I was so mad. Actually, that doesn't make sense.
No, it would have been around the same
It
time.
would have been around the same time. I think I still gave it to you anyway.
Probably because you were mad it wasn't Vamps related, to be fair.
Yeah, why are you sending I mean, I get it. It's a pop magazine. You're going to send whatever's big and new at the time. But
Yeah.
I was so mad.
We've caught drumsticks since. Twice. We've had one that was jazz and one that was row.
Yes, I forgot that we'd had another one.
We need to get a pick. The
Yes.
next thing to catch is a pick. How we've not caught a Vamps pick in the time that we've been
We
there.
came so close.
So close. I was fuming. I was like, Jazz, it's on your foot. It's on your foot. It's on your foot. It's on your foot. Look at your foot. And Jazz was going at me. And I was like, stop dancing at me. It's on
You
your
equally
foot.
could have bent down and picked it up off her foot.
No, it was me, rode you, Jazz. She wasn't
Oh,
stood
I
next
didn't
to
know-
me.
I didn't know
But I
either.
was watching Con.
I didn't know until the person in front of us bent down and picked it up off Jazz's
Off
shoe.
Jazz's shoe.
And then I was so mad because he'd thrown that at our flashing scrunchies. Come on,
He
we've got
had.
the flashing scrunchies on our wrists.
But Jazz was too busy partying. I was watching Connor, obviously. So then I'd seen him throw it and I was like, Jazz, it's on your foot, it's on your foot, it's on your foot. But one day we will get it. The only pick I've ever caught, which I am glad that I've caught, is Austin's pick from Water Parks, which I just couldn't be happier about, honestly. I hadn't needed to do it. But that was with them supporting Gimme at 6. I don't think I could do that at an actual show for
Not
that
with
band.
them, their fans be crazy.
Fans are cray
You'd
cray.
be murdered for it.
Yes. But I think that seeing as we're 10 minutes over when we said we'd be, we should wrap the episode up there. I can't even explain to you how much I've enjoyed this episode. I absolutely love talking about boy bands. Honestly, if
You've
anyone
been in your
asks me, I have. If anyone asks me anything to do with music and then therefore asks me about boy bands, I'm like, do you have time to talk about it? Because you've got to allow time for me to talk about it now.
Can I add one more thing and just say how grateful I am to have grown up in a generation where we don't have to choose a box?
Yes. Oh my gosh,
Like,
yes.
what do you mean I can like the Vamps and AC/DC?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been allowed. I'm so glad that we are in a generation where I can. just like what I like,
Yeah.
and there's no, oh, well, you're not allowed to like that because you like this.
Yeah. I think that actually people find it really cool when people listen to a bunch of different things. I think it's so cool when people listen to a variety of things because you can never be disappointed then. Whenever you go somewhere, you're going to enjoy the music if that's the case. Like, Harrison listens to dance, hip-hop, but then equally he likes Australian rock bands. He likes rap. He likes everything he will listen to.
I still have my limits.
I have my limits, but I think it's so cool when people can listen to more than one genre.
I think it's so cool as well going to shows and seeing all the different vibes and being like, wow, like this ticks so many boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
And like fitting in. Do you know what it's like going to like a pop show with like bright pink hair and eyeliner?
Yeah.
Before.
It's a lot more common.
Like, yeah, now you just see everything everywhere. That's great.
I love it. And I think that also goes because bands aren't genre boxing themselves as much anymore. So bands that used to create more rocky stuff have done more poppier albums, and bands that have done more poppier stuff might have changed their genre. Waterparks, if someone asked me to describe Waterparks, who are my favourite band, I couldn't tell you what genre they are because every album's a different genre. They've got pop albums, they've got pop punk albums, they've got experimental albums. I don't even know what you'd call greatest hits.
But the amount of emos at Katy Perry.
Emos at Katy Perry, big time.
There were so many emos at Katy Perry.
Yeah. You just don't know, but I love that.
It's great. Like, because you wouldn't think Katy Perry and think, yeah, the emos will be there.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
But it worked so well.
But I do love it. I do love it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add that in there because I really do love that we are in a generation where
Everything's
you can
accepted.
just like what you like and you don't have to have the attitude I did when I was a kid where I was like, no, I hate that because I like rock music.
Yeah.
So Justin Bieber,
Yeah. I know.
it's crap.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we don't have that.
I know. I agree. It's a much more understanding world now, which is very nice.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching this week's episode. We will be back again next Thursday with a new episode. And it's going to be pretty soon that I'm going to be doing my all-time low episode. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to go to that and then therefore record a episode about it.
Yeah. And we'll see if I go to Honey Revenge. I'm not sure if it now coincides with Adam's trip, but we'll see. Maybe I'll go.
So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching and we will see you next Thursday. Bye.